Hi everyone, very happy to be recording a new podcast for you today. In today's podcast, we're going to try something different. In today's podcast, I'm going to start off with a Zen story, all right? And then after that, I've told you the story. We're going to try to decrypt the story and try to extract teachings from the story. So the story goes on like this. There used to be in ancient China, in a remote village, there used to be a father and a son. Alright? So when the son actually grew older, so when he reached the age of 17 or 18 years old, he decided to create his own identity. So he decided to do something on his own, something the father did not discourage. All right. So what happened is the young son left the village and went abroad to go create his identity, learn and achieve something on his own. And at the same time, the father moved as well, but went to a different village and started off something. And in this story, there was the mum had already died, so there was only the father and the son. So they went on different paths, and the son did differently and the father did differently. So what happened throughout time is that the son didn't actually did quite well, so he just became more and more poor. Whereas on the other hand, the father went from village to village, town to town, was successful with his businesses, and just he was able to get more and more wealth, be more and more rich, have more power, get more connections, meet more people. So after 10 years, what happened is the father became a landlord and the son became very, very poor, and he had to actually go and beg for food. So what happened is one day, as a coincidence, the son came to the same town where the father was a landlord. And the father was in his huge house. And one day, the son went to that house to beg for food. And while he was begging for food, the father, who was standing near his window in that huge house, which could be viewed as a castle, who was standing there, the father saw his son, who came to the house and was begging for food. So at that point in time, all sorts of emotions rushed through the body of the father and his mind. But he decided to do something. And I'm going to tell you what he decided to do. What he did is, he didn't meet his son. What he did is, he asked one of his employees, if you want to call the person an employee, one of his close employees to talk to his son and actually give him a job in the house. Okay, give him a manual job to work in the garden. All right, and that's what the person did. Went there and told the owner's son that the owner of the house has given you a job to help you out. Would you be willing to take it on? And the son accepted. And throughout the years, the son was so grateful for the job he received that he did really well in that job. And throughout the years, so after 4 to 5 years, the son actually got promoted. Step by step, the son got promoted in his workplace, and actually he reached a level where he became like a supervisor. All right, and he was in charge of a group of people. And after 5 years, then the owner of the of the building. So the landlord, in this case, the father, at that point in time decided to meet his son. And when he met his son after 5 years, then the son was so happy to see his father, and he was smiling so much because he knew that the father always knew that he was in the house for 5 years. And at that specific point in time, the son was smiling so much and was so happy to meet his father, and the father was so proud also that they hugged each other and there was no word spoken, nothing. They were just very proud of each other. Okay, so that's how the story ends. Now, if we try to dig, what are the key things that we can get out of that story? One of the key things would be, if we look at the start of the story itself, we had that son who left the village, left the support of the father, and decided to do his own thing. So throughout the story, even if the son was very poor, he kept going. At no point in the story did he try to get into contact with the father and ask for help. He always tried to do his thing. So he was determined to succeed on his own. He kept trying, he kept persevering, because he decided to do what his heart told him. So he persevered, and at the end of the journey, he actually succeeded in whatever he wanted to do. So a lot of times people, if you try to put it in the general context now, a lot of times people try to do things because, let's say, the parents want them to do this, or there's a certain peer pressure to get into this certain work or do certain things. They never actually get to do what they really want to. But if you actually are doing something you really want to do, you get another sort of drive to actually do that thing. So that was the first thing that we can extract from that story, because the son always tried to be what he wanted to be, and the father also never prevented him to do what he wanted to do. Because one thing, my friends, you need to understand really well: adversity is not a bad thing. Actually, adversity makes you become stronger. So going through these hardships was actually something very good for the son in this story, because he was learning the hard way. What's happening right now is a lot of parents are trying to create that comfort zone for their children. Okay, and they don't want their children to suffer, so they tend to be overprotective. They don't want them to suffer. They don't want them to taste a bit of pain of life, taste adversity. But what's happening is, once you go out there in real life, there's no protection. So giving someone that adversity, and being okay with adversity is good, because in real life you're going to get some real shots on yourself. So you need to be prepared to take on criticism. You need to be prepared to suck up the negativity of the world, because that's one of the things that's going to happen to you. So you need to be ready for that. So having that attitude during adversity is something crucial. And the second thing which we can get from that story is, the father actually didn't just go there and hug his son when he saw his son after so many years. He actually let him work his way up. All right? Which means that you only get what you deserve. Okay? A shortcut doesn't actually help you in the long run. Okay? You need to work for what you're getting. Okay? It could have been so easy for the father just to take him on board from the start once he saw his son, and then try to help him out. But it would have not helped the son's confidence. Real confidence is when you get it through your own hard work. So let's put it in the general context again. Nowadays we've got lots of parents who, just to have their children start off their life, we just give them lots of money just to, buy a house and get started, and they think that they're helping their children that way, but actually they are not, because when you're not doing something on your own, okay, you can't build that confidence. When you're actually getting help to do something, it just creates more insecurity in yourself, because it tells you that, oh, maybe you're not good enough. That's why I'm getting the help of my parents. That's why my parents are giving me money to start off my life, because they think I can't do it on my own. So shortcuts actually create a lot of insecurity. And doing things the hard way is the best way for confidence. I mean, if I think about myself, when I started to work and I was doing my master's, I used to use 65% of my salary just on my studies. I just invested lots of money on my studies, and I did it on my own. I never asked for money. And when I look back now, all the things that I've done, I like even building my house, I've done everything from scratch by myself. All these hardships, they actually shape your personality, and they give you that strength, that confidence to actually go there and do something. All right? So adversity is something amazing. I mean, we tend to look at it as something negative, but it can actually change your life so much. It's something that you can thrive on. Okay, it builds resilience, it builds confidence. All right, so I'll just leave you with that analysis of the story, and I think it was quite a nice story. Okay, you may be having your own perceptions. Okay, so hopefully it was interesting for you to listen to it. Till next time, bye bye, and lots of love from me as usual. See you soon.